Okay, today we're going to talk about AI and my very specific evolution with AI as a freelance copywriter. I think AI is really useful and there are ways I use it in my job, but I'm using it less and less for writing, and this has surprised me. So let's talk about it. Here's where I'm at now. I am pretty much at the point where I don't think we should be using AI like ChatGPT as content writers, copywriters for, I would say, 75 to 80% of what we produce for clients. And that might sound really kind of dramatic. I do think there's a place for it, 25%. There's writing stuff, where AI can be really helpful. And I'll talk about what those things are and what those things aren't, according to where I'm at. So I want to call your attention now to this article. I'm going to link to it in the description below. I want you to read it, okay? You might have even seen it. It's from a company called The State of Brand, and they put out this article in May of 2026. It's actually part 2. You can read part 1, but part 2 is actually where it's at because they've actually refined what they were saying in part 2. And it's about the great flattening, okay? And here's the science. There's a reason why AI slop exists. It's not because anything is grammatically incorrect or punctuated incorrectly. Like, it's all perfectly fine, but it all sounds the same. All right. And it's all written in that way. And there's a reason why that's the case. Here, I'm going to flash on the screen, but I'm going to read it right now too. So this article cited some research by a team that was led by folks at the University of Washington, Carnegie Mellon, and the Allen Institute for AI. The team tested over 70 large language models using a data set of 26,000 real-world open-ended queries, the kind of things people actually type into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and other tools every day. When they asked 25 different models to write a metaphor about time, the concept of time, each generating 50 responses, the outputs didn't spread across the conceptual space the way human answers would. They collapsed into 2 clusters. One group wrote variations of time is a river, and the other wrote variations of time is a weaver. Okay? These are independent systems developed on opposite sides of the planet, arriving at the same words. All right? The artificial hive mind study revealed something that the State of the Brand hadn't considered. ChatGPT sounds like Claude, sounds like Gemini, sounds like DeepSeek, sounds like Qwen. The convergence isn't just happening at the brand level. It's baked into the tools. The infrastructure itself is homogeneous. Okay, let me repeat that again, louder for the folks in the back. The infrastructure itself is homogeneous. You have to actively fight the convergence because the tools are pulling everything towards center on their own. And good luck trying to fight it. So what I'm now doing is what I was doing 4 years ago. Seriously, I am working with the client. I'm working with my knowledge of their business. I am ideally working with subject matter experts on the client end because that's how you get the unique point of view. And I'm writing all this stuff myself. I use ChatGPT for some stuff, but for the big stuff, like the longer blog posts and the white papers and the emails, I'm doing it myself because it's not going to sound like everyone else who's using AI. And that's key. When it comes to the day-to-day practical, bigger pieces of writing, my human noggin comes into play. When it comes to research, AI is great at that, and that can help cut down on loads of time. When it comes to doing any sort of data analysis, whether it's data that the client has given me or keyword research or anything that involves analysis, that has never been my specialty and never will be. ChatGPT is great at that. And if I don't know how to prompt it correctly because I don't have an analytical brain in that sense, I will ask ChatGPT, how should I prompt you? And that's the best way to get the best prompt, is ask ChatGPT or whatever AI model you're using to develop the prompt for you. All right, that's a great way to use it. So I'll use it for that. For transactional writing. So when I'm going through my YouTube channel, for example, this YouTube channel where I have over 200 videos, and every now and then I go through and I reanalyze the titles that are working, that are not working, the descriptions, stuff like that. That stuff I hand to ChatGPT. I mean, I'm working with it, but I'm not sitting there trying to come up with 20 headlines on my own or video titles on my own. That's where that's where the robot can really be beneficial because it's fast. It understands formulas. It can look at the titles that are working really well and parse why they're working well. The video descriptions, I want it optimized so that it surfaces in search and in YouTube search, so it can help me write the base description, and then I can do a quick edit to remove some of the AI twang. Because it's so short, it's easy enough to do. As you're working with clients, especially small to medium-sized businesses who are trying to think, how can we use ChatGPT? Let's use it for writing. Try to get them away from that. That's what you can do. And let's find the repetitive stuff that they do, that they already do, where ChatGPT can help. Be the person who says, look at all the ways you can use AI and none of it involves writing. I'm trying to do that more, just because I truly believe that. Leave most of the writing for the writers, and let's work out all the other ways that we can use AI that are going to be beneficial to your daily work life and your daily life. All right, that's what we need to figure out together. I've come around. Like, you can see my evolution. I hope this video helps you see my evolution. I think there's still a place for copywriters and content writers in 2026. I think that'll still be the case in 2027 and beyond. There might not be as many of us, and that might be something to do with AI or people falling away, or I don't know what. And I could end up changing my mind on everything I said today, and I'm doing a completely different video next year. And if that's the case, I will be honest and transparent about it because I think that's important right now. All right, that wraps up this section of the video. I actually had recorded a 45-minute video and realized I had 3 videos in one. So I cut them up and I turned them into 3 videos. That was the end of whatever part it was, 1, 2, or 3. I am Robin the Copy Bitch. If you got anything out of it, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help me out, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.